conflict resolution. This is actually the third video. We began with a brief introduction, and then we went, in that first video, we talked about the first of 4 G's, which is glorify God. Our second video, we just kind of looked at the second G, get the mote out of your eye. And today in this video, we want to simply look at gently restore, the third of the 4 G's that the author mentions. And we just need to ask ourselves, how can I lovingly serve others by helping them take responsibility for their contribution to the conflict? Brothers, if someone be caught in a sin, you who are spiritual, gently restore them. I think that word there is so key, gently restore him. If your brother sins against you, Matthew says, go and show him his fault, just between the two of you. Just between the two of you. Conflict gives us a unique opportunity to serve other people. And restoring, it's so much more than just confronting. When Christians think about talking to someone else about a conflict, one of the first verses that comes to mind is Matthew 18. If your brother sins against you, go and show him his fault just between the two of you. And if we look at this verse in isolation, it might sound like a direct confrontation to force others to admit they've sinned. But if we look at the verse in context, the author would say that we might want to be a little more flexible and a little more beneficial. Rather than simply standing toe to toe with others, we might want to look at the rest of the context. Because just before in this passage, we find Jesus' wonderful metaphor of a loving shepherd who goes to look for a wandering sheep and rejoices when it is found. Matthew 18:15 is not introduced with the theme of restoration, not condemnation. Jesus repeats the scene just after telling us to go and show him his fault, by adding, if he listens, you have won your brother over. And then he hits the restoration theme a third time when he uses the parable of the unmerciful servant to remind us to be as merciful and as forgiving to others as God is to us. So the thematic in this chapter, and I believe the thematic in the scriptures, is restoration. And the author, he would take that a little farther, and I would concur, to gently restore. Jesus is clearly calling for something much more loving, much more redemptive than simply confronting someone with a list of wrongs. So this involves face-to-face. This involves us maybe going to our brother, our sister. If someone has something against you, go to them. When someone's sins are too serious to overlook, when maybe what they're doing or what you sense they're doing is dishonoring God, maybe it's damaging your relationship. Is it hurting others? Maybe it's hurting the offender. And go to them. Go to them with the idea of glorifying God, with the idea that you've already looked at yourself and you know that you really are, that you can't overlook this. Your approach to this is good. So now we go to them and we gently restore. It also helps understand what Paul told the Galatians to do with a brother caught in sin. Instead of ignoring him or throwing him out, Galatians were instructed to restore him gently. The word translated restore means to mend, repair, equip, complete, or repair. The fishermen mending their nets might be a doctor setting a broken bone. We need to gently restore. We want to realize that ability to go to our brother, go to our sister, and to gently restore that relationship. And be quick to listen. Be quick to listen. Be able to hear them. Sometimes we go in with our agenda and we don't take time just to listen. Be willing to wait. Sometimes we might have to endure some pauses in the conversation. Be willing to wait. Be willing to attend. Attend. Don't expect with one conversation to get to the very root of what you're hoping to get to. Be willing to attend. It may take you 2, 3, 4. It may take you multiple times as you attend to this relationship. Clarifying. Be willing to ask the questions and say, are you saying? Could you tell me more about? Can you give me an example? Let me see if I understand. And reflect. Reflect. Maybe speak back to them what they've said to make sure that you're hearing the same things. And come to a place where you agree what the real offense is. Agreeing with a person is a powerful thing. When you can agree with them and possibly even enter in and say, I understand why you felt that way. I understand why you reacted that way. If I would have, I might have the same way. Agree with them. And then remember, the tongue of the wise brings healing. In this gently restore phase, breathe grace. Breathe grace. Make charitable judgments. Oh, be merciful, be gracious, be charitable. Speak the truth, but speak it in love. Speak it in love. Talk from beside, not from above. You're their brother, you're their sister. Talk from beside, not above. Help others examine the desires of their hearts. Help them to see that as they're able to work through this challenge, this difficulty, this conflict successfully, it's going to open up a door. It's going to open up a door for them to accomplish and be all that God wants them to accomplish and be. Choose the right time and place. Talk in person whenever possible. Engage rather than declare. Gently restore. Communicate so clearly that you just cannot be misunderstood. Plan your words. Think about what you're going to say before you get there. Make sure that you're really saying what you want to say and that your emotions or your agenda doesn't get out of control. Plan your words. Gently restore. What an awesome opportunity for us. Yes. Glorify God. Get the mote out of your eye. Gently restore.